Welcome back to another edition of Where's a Teaspoon? Today we're talking to Ian Lawrence, who is our Clinical Director for Integration and Chief Clinical Information Officer. And he is also a volunteer at music festivals. And today he's going to be telling us all about that experience. So welcome to the podcast, Ian. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell me what inspired you to start volunteering at festivals, and what is it that you do there?
So I've gone to music festivals most of my adult life, and to begin with, that was just as a punter, paying and going and enjoying them. And then there was a Christmas edition of the British Medical Journal, the BMJ, and they had an article in there, or the organisation I volunteer with had an article in there around, they called it the text sign. So when people had got pulled out of the front of the crowd into the bit behind the stage, they called it the text sign. So when people sat up and started texting their friends, they thought that was a good indication that they were ready to go back out into the crowd. There was an email address at the bottom of that article, and I thought, I quite fancy being part of that. So I emailed them, and they said, yeah, great, we're looking for another GP. Can you come along to Glastonbury in 3 weeks' time? And I did, and I've gone every year since. Yeah.
Fantastic. So when was this? How long ago was your first?
That was 2009. So I've been doing it about 16 years now. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. And you mentioned you're a fan of festivals. What was the first festival you ever went to as a fan, not as a volunteer?
So I was probably 19 or 20, and I went to Property Festival, which still is going. It's a little sort of folk festival run by the band Fairport Convention. So I went there then, and I went pretty much every year till about the year I started volunteering. And the thing that stopped that was really the kids got to an age where we had to pay for them, and it just got prohibitively expensive for us to go as a family. So yeah.
How many kids have you got?
2.
Yeah.
And
really
one of them
nice
now works in the industry. He now does lights for bands. So dragging him to music festivals has probably influenced his career choice. Yeah.
What is it you love about the festival scene so much?
So I just really like the atmosphere. Everybody's there, everybody's happy. I like camping anyway. I like live music anyway. So that mixture of that sort of feeling of community and camping and music, and then adding volunteering into that just makes it. And sort of volunteering, you're there as part of you feel much more part of the festival, and you're part of a team of people who are like-minded. Yeah, it's just really nice, and it's a great way to just escape from real life for a weekend. You can really immerse yourself in it. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, very immersive. Do you need any kind of special training to work at the festivals?
No, I went as a GP. I was a GP. When I signed up, they were very clear that you're there as a GP. If you're out of your depth, then say so and step away. There's quite a big team. There are lots of very experienced people there, so you've always got people around you. But actually, most of the work that I did was GP work. Doing it over the years, you do develop there are training courses you can do around event medicine, which I've done, and you get a little bit more experienced in some of the stuff that you don't see quite so much in daily life. So you get better at dealing with people with sort of substance misuse and those sorts of things. You don't generally see trench foot elsewhere, but so there are some random things that you sort of you build up an expertise in, but no, to do it you don't need any special training.
What are the most common health issues then that you see at festivals?
So everyone sort of assumes it's substance misuse, but you get a bit of that, but Mostly it depends on the weather. If it's wet and muddy, you just see twisted ankle after twisted ankle after twisted ankle.
Oh, yeah,
If it's sunny, you see lots of sunburn and hay fever and conjunctivitis. You
yeah.
see quite a lot of urine infections, that sort of stuff. It varies enormously by festival as well. So Reading is almost exclusively teenagers, so you get lots more sort of anxiety type
Mm,
presentations. Whereas
mm.
Glastonbury, you've got tiny babies all the way up to relatively old people. So last year I saw a 90-year-old with the fall,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
which so yeah, full range of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would a typical day or night, because I'm assuming you do some night duties as
Yeah.
well as a festival medic, what does that look like?
Again, that varies enormously by festival and by time of day and by the weather.
Yeah.
So I did. There's a festival called WOMAD, which is very quiet and low key and full of relatively posh middle-aged people. I did a whole shift there and saw one person with a wasp sting. So incredibly quiet.
Yeah.
Reading, which is, as I said, almost all teenagers, sort of from sort of 11 o'clock at night to 3 in the morning, you see just lots of inebriation, lots of people who have overindulged. Although that's changed, even the last 2 or 3 years, they've really put some measures in that make it much harder for people to drink too much, and they've made a huge difference. So even that's changing. Yeah, as I said. But during the day, it's like a bit like doing a GP sort of emergency surgery. So you get yeah,
Everything.
lots of people. You
Mm.
get kids coming in with, I've seen earache, yeah, also all sorts. But I think that the thing that's different is when you start. So you at a festival you do 2 8-hour shifts, and you're working with people you don't normally work with. So there's that bit at the beginning, just figuring out what's going on and where the backlogs are and what's going on and understanding where it is. Meeting
Yeah.
a group of people for the first time, that sort of that bit of it is very different. And of course, you're in a tent in a field, and yeah,
Mm.
it gives its own challenges, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, I bet. What's the best, most rewarding part of the experience for you?
So I think the team working.
Mm.
So
Okay.
you in real life, you've put a lot of effort into building teams, working as a teams, and it feels hard work to get a team up and working really well together. For
Yeah.
some reason, coming together for 8 hours in a field, that teamwork, it just seems to happen. You get a load
Yeah.
of people together, you work together brilliantly as a team for 8 hours, and then you move on, and then every time you do a shift, it's different. So that's really interesting. The fact that you're all volunteers is quite a good leveler. It removes some of the or yeah, mitigate some of the hierarchies that you have
Yeah.
in the NHS.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is the punters are much more grateful in a festival, because if you're
Mm.
taken ill or get frightened or whatever, you don't know what's happening, and it's a very full-on environment. And then they walk into this tent, and there's a group of professionals there who calm everything down and look after you
Yeah.
and give a great service. So yeah, just and people, yeah, they're just very grateful that you're there and pick them up.
Mm. Mm. Well, I'm assuming you will get to catch some of the music. That has got to be one of the perks of volunteering. And
Yeah, yeah.
have there been any standout sets for you in your time there?
Uh, oh, hundreds. It's one of the reasons what I really
Yeah.
love is when you get a band who is blown away by being there as you are seeing them. So there's been a few there. So the Cure at Reading, probably 5 or 6 years ago, they were headlining and clearly couldn't believe that 30 years into their career they were still headlining a festival like that. Mumford and Sons. became big, so they released an album and then went off to Australia and came back. And the year before, they'd played a tiny little folky tent at Glastonbury, and then this year they were on one of the big stages, and it was absolutely rammed, and they were clearly terrified by the experience, which was
Huge transition.
it's
Yeah.
it was just lovely to see. And
Mm.
then perhaps more recently, Fred again headlined Reading last year, and he managed to do completely epic and really intimate at the same time. Yeah, but yeah, there are a few examples where yes, the band have been
Sounds incredible. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
incredible, but also grateful and surprised and clearly
Mm.
enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever treated any of the performers?
Yes.
Obviously, we've got patient
They get
confidentiality here.
poorly injured, just like everybody else. You
Yeah,
can't really talk about specifics, can you? But
of
I've,
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
a headliner who had a splinter in their foot. Why on earth they were
Oh.
on stage barefoot, I don't know. But and then a guitarist who'd trapped his finger in a car door, which one, it looked quite painful. He wasn't seriously hurt, but trying to figure out how he could then go and play his guitar with a crushed finger. So yeah, that was
Yeah,
it.
great.
Yeah.
Um, where are you volunteering this summer?
This summer, just Glastonbury and Reading, which are the two that I do most commonly. Last year I did more. I did WOMAD and End of the Road Festival as well last year, but so I did
Mm.
did
Mm.
four last year, but just two this year. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you could work at a dream festival anywhere in the world, if you could go anywhere, where would you go?
So I've never been to a festival outside the UK. I keep debating it and quite often get put off by the idea of camping in really hot sun.
Yeah.
But actually, there is something very special about Glastonbury. It is probably the best festival in the world for all sorts of reasons. So yeah, and I've been going there for a long time now and enjoying it.
The
Which
Glastonbury
well,
then.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, which sort of reduces the need to travel and go around the world. But yeah, but there are some things like Burning Man and Coachella in America. They're very famous. I've never
Mm.
been. They look
Yeah.
incredible, but they also look hot and dusty. So yeah,
And you've got Glastonbury and you get to live your dream every year. So that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's living my dream, but I certainly thoroughly enjoy it.
Ian, that was fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing some of those experiences and yeah, enjoy your festival season.
Quite all right. Thank you for having me. And hopefully, if people are interested, then if they want to let me know, I can put them in touch with the organisation
What's
that
the
does it.
organisation called if
It's called
people want to
Festival
look it
Medical
up?
Services.
Yeah.
If you just Google Festival Medical Services, they've got a
Mm.
website and there's a link there if you're interested in volunteering. They're always looking for volunteers, particularly for some of the smaller ones. It's quite easy to find people for Glastonbury, but less so for
Yeah.
Reading and the other smaller festival. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Ian.
Great. Thank you for having me.